Hi everyone, it's Helen and welcome to my channel. I thought I would start out this video by showing you kind of an awkward picture of the project that I'm going to be making in this video. It's a solar lighthouse. Isn't it cute? So here we go. When I went on Pinterest, I really liked the lighthouses that people were making out of these clay pots, and they're just stacking them. So that's what I'm going to make. I hope I'm in the shot here. I have 2 sets. And again, I got these from the dollar store. I also found, oh, I think this is really cool, it's a solar light. So I'm thinking that it would be so nice if, I just took this off, this goes on the top of there, and you could put it out in the garden. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do this without wrecking the pot, or if I'm just going to cut the end off here, this plastic piece, and then somehow glue it. I guess they're not perfectly even. I don't think that matters. I think it'll be beautiful. So the cake, I'll have this sitting on the cake pan, and then I can decorate around the cake pan. What do you think? That might be a good idea. I'm going to try going around with my craft knife right on the edge. It's plastic, so I'm worried that if I use too much force, it's just going to crack and then it'll be ruined. I looked today and they didn't have any more. So I have to be careful. So I think if I just keep going around and around, sooner or later it'll get through. That's the plan. I'll watch my fingers. It's very dangerous. It's dangerous. I'll come back. Well, that took a lot longer than I thought to cut this little plastic piece off. I even got the tool set that my dad gave me. Got that out and replaced the blade. I guess I'm not in any rush, so I'm glad I didn't crack it, because I could have used the screwdriver and taken that entire piece out likely, but I like that silver, the way it sticks in there. Now that I've figured out how I'm going to add this light, I'm going to go ahead and glue these together with Well Bond, I think I'm going to use. Okay, so here's how I see it going together. I have a cake pan that I just painted with black gesso. Then I thought I would glue this on here, like that, and decorate on the pan. So in my last video, I had put the glass chips and I painted them and they stayed. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that would be nice to decorate around the lighthouse because it's rocks. And I'm glad they stuck together and they actually stuck to the paper towel. So this was just kind of an experiment, but yay, it worked. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to switch to some clay. I had bought this mold on Amazon or eBay, one or the other, and I'm going to try and make some of these to put on the rocks around the lighthouse. And this I think I got at Michael's, and there's a little seashell. I don't know if any other ones are for like sea life or anything, but I think this will be really cool. I'm going to paint the little crab. I don't think I'll put the dolphin on, or maybe I will. Doesn't have to be so real. So that's next. I also had some rocks from outside, so I'm going to paint these black. I'm going to get a whole bunch of these. When I'm ready, after I glue the lighthouse on and I have the lighthouse painted, I'll glue it on and then I'll start decorating the cake pan. But in the meantime, I think I will make some clay stuff. I've got 2 coats of white paint on here. And rather than worrying about painting straight lines for these parts, I decided to use electrical tape. So that worked well. I also added some painter's tape here so I could tape off for the red along the top. This is rather difficult to get a straight line because it bows outwards. I'm sure no one's going to look at it that closely, I think. And also what I've done is I've cut out from a piece of cardboard 4 little squares and I will paint inside them. This is just a template and paint inside them. I've also done the door. Yeah, probably the door is a little big for the size of the lighthouse, but it's okay. It can be, it's not real. It can be whatever we want it to be. So that's where I'm at with this. A couple coats of this outdoor gloss sealer. And I was a little concerned about whether the electrical tape would stick, but seems like it's pretty good. I was working on this cake pan. I did the first coat of black primer and the paint comes off really easy, the gesso. So I took it off with sandpaper and I scuffed up the pan. Of course it's a non-stick pan, so why would I think that gesso would stick to it? So I'm going to try to mix up some of these glass chips, Mod Podge, and black paint. And I'm going to check it out before I glue the lighthouse on here because I don't want to ruin my lighthouse because I think it's so cute. So I'm going to try and stick it on here and see if it sticks because it's the non-stick Teflon, and try that out and let it dry. So I'll do all that and then I'll come back. I added the glass chips along the top of the cake pan and I glued the rocks on. These little holes are for the anchors so we can push it into the ground. I think this one was for fencing, but it's the only one I have. So I have an old coat hanger that I'll cut up, the metal ones, and use that. So that should work well. In hindsight, I would not have glued this on first because this sides were a pain. I used a little bit of tacky glue as well, Eileen's tacky glue. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some other colors of these glass chips. I have a blue and a different color blue, and along with the green. So I'll add some of that. I also painted I made those clay accessories, I suppose. Here's the starfish. They're so sweet. These crabs are so sweet. What I might do is with the shells, I painted them with a pearlescent color, but I think I might add stickles to them because that might really add. I also tried a DIY from a East Woodland Survival net making, and oh, I got black paint everywhere. And yeah, so I made this net, but it's way too thick for this piece. So So then I used some for doily yarn. Is that what you call it? Doily yarn? I think so. So this will look really nice on there. I didn't make them very long, but there's a lot of knots in there. It should look nice with some shells on there. So that's where I'm at. Almost done, I think. 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. That's what happened. I had technical difficulties yesterday, so yeah, I didn't record any of it. So this is the finished project. I can just walk you through real quickly what I've done. I added the 2 different colors of glass chips as well as the green along the inside. And around the chips, I painted a little bit with metallic champagne paint, and that was to give it more of a frothy water froth look, as well as on the rocks. I just finger painted these rocks. I glue gunned the clay pieces, including the net and the shell at the end of the net, just for time's sake. I Sharpied and stickled these clay pieces as well. And over top of all of it, I added a outdoor gloss sealer just to help hold everything there. The doorknob was a Sharpie. I added the solar light with Well Bond. So overall, I am just thrilled with the way that it turned out. I think I'm the dollar store queen, because when I add up about what I spent on this, it really wasn't expensive to make, and it'll look beautiful in the garden, I think. I will take a quick video of it standing up so you could see what it looks like. So here's the finished lighthouse. Isn't this gonna look so cute in the garden? I love the way it turned out. What do you think? If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. And I hope you decide to give this a try. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Bye.